This is the European edition of Breaking Banks, the world's #1 FinTech podcast and radio show. We bring you the European unicorns, startups, founders, regulators, and leaders innovating the rapidly evolving FinTech scene today. A truly localized podcast with both English and local language content, with some of the world's most well-known hosts and influencers in the FinTech sector globally. Join us every week as we explore what makes the European Union a phenomenal proving ground for many of the fastest growing FinTech plays in the world today. Okay, let's roll.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Breaking Banks Europe. We are here today for the second episode of our blockchain series. Specifically, today we are going to deep dive a little bit more on the vertical of FinTech. We have already discussed previously with another co-host of mine, Matteo Rizzi, in the previous episode, a little bit more the general overview about the Block.IS project. And today, again, we are here with 3 startups that participate to the program and are here with us to share a little bit their experience and, of course, let us know about their solution and the application that they are using the blockchain for. So I'm very happy to welcome to the show, first of all, Guru Prasad Venkatesha from BCube AI.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Then we have all the way from Serbia, the CTO of Between, Ognjen Kurtic.
Thank you.
Hello,
Glad to be
Ognjen.
here. Hi.
And then last but not least, Dimitar Kiosev from Bulgaria and from the startup Deriveum.
It's a pleasure.
Hi, Dimitar. Ciao. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. And as I was saying before, in this series, we will deep dive a little bit more on the 3 verticals of the Block.IS program, which are, as you know, agri-tech, logistics, and FinTech indeed. So the first one, this one, it's more about the financial services. So blockchain application for the financial industry. The first thing I want to ask you guys is to give our audience a little bit of background of yourself, but more a deep dive into your solution. So tell us what are you actually doing at your startups. Guru Prasad, you want to start?
Sure. I can go first.
Nice.
So I'm Guru Prasad. People call me Guru. I'm the founder
Better, thanks.
I know. I'm the founder and CEO of bcube.ai. We are the ultimate all-in-one AI-driven platform for crypto traders. So a little bit about my background. As a teenager, I built my first company, which was also into trading, and we connected the brokers with the traders. And software engineers who were not able to access their platform, that broker's platform on their computers, were able to simply trade on their own accounts through the brokers with just an SMS. So this was my first startup, and I had an exit even before I finished my engineering. And after finishing my engineering, I worked for Bosch. I worked for Morgan Stanley as an investment analyst and a trader. And my passion has always been trading, asset management. So this is what I have been doing. Then my interest came to cryptocurrencies. My life led me there. And trader, once you're a trader, you're always a trader. So you always have to find a new asset. And I found Bitcoin for myself. So then we found a problem like in this industry that the market trades 24/7. It trades all the time and you cannot be there. You cannot concentrate all the time and you will lose all your energy. So we were thinking of creating bots for ourselves as well as for our customers. Because whenever we were trying to give the money to somebody, we had to give the custody to them. So it was ending up in a Ponzi scheme, like which happened to me, my family, friends, and everybody. So we were trying to create a very good platform where we don't take custody of funds of anybody, but still we will give them same kind of returns like any other big successful hedge funds out there. So we created, right now what we have on the platform is automated trading bots, which is completely autopilot, completely hands-off approach for both centralized exchange and decentralized exchange. And we are building a platform right now which connects the DeFi ecosystem to the trading ecosystem. So we are bridging these two things now. And since we have our own AI ML models, we are giving that to the people to build something on top of it. So we are creating an infrastructure right now where people can build their own strategies on top of our machine learning models. And we have a marketplace of bots, like where people can take whatever they like. And this will also be possible for third party to post their strategies on our platform. So it creates a kind of like healthy competition between us as BCube and somebody else. So ultimately, the winners will be the users because they will select the best, what they want. And that is our purpose of creating this one. And people can learn some basic things like what is flash loan, what is DeFi, and all this kind of stuff. Plus, they will also be able to learn what is Solidity language, and they can learn the coding, and they can learn everything. It's an education platform of our own. So that's why we call it as like all-in-one AI-driven platform. So it's end-to-end. They can find anything if they come to us.
Nice. Thanks a lot, Guru. And actually, it's quite interesting times for this business, since DeFi it's basically booming, as we were seeing also in some previous episode where we had the CEO of Aave, for example, that was sharing with us his experience. Ognjen, your turn.
Thank you. So just before I start, a note, we started as company Between in the Block.IS project, but since then we rebranded to Finspot. So I'm going to use Finspot in the continuation. So hi, I am Kurtic Ognjen. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Finspot. And we're a company with a mission to enable access to finance and solve the problem of liquidity for small and medium enterprises. We started this work more than 3 years ago now. And we managed to experience from multiple sides, from the bank, from a small family company, and myself as an engineer, this issue that the enterprises face once they need, let's say, money for improving the cash flow and all the other needs. And we decided to build a platform that's going to help them to solve that. What we try to do is try to utilize the latest technologies and also to innovate in the financial sector in order to enable that. And the first product that we built is a factoring platform, which enables companies to, in order of hours, register, apply for financing, and we then need usually around few minutes in order to approve the financing and to have money on their account. We started officially to work in Serbia in the beginning of this year. We acquired the license from the Ministry of Finance and already have a portfolio of more than 1 million euros here in Serbia. Where Block.IS comes into story. We as a young company also experienced the same issue that our clients experience, is that we are invisible to the banks. Because we are young, we don't have the balance sheets for 2 years, and they just don't want to take us into consideration for giving us any funds. And since this is really a capital-intensive industry, as you know, we had to innovate to find a solution to get more money. And we decided to actually tokenize the portfolio that we have as a factoring company, and then to offer that portfolio as investment through a security token offering to the public. Not strictly public, meaning that everybody can join, but accredited individuals and companies can join and participate in our portfolio. They get returns which are much better than the regular banking returns that you would get in account, as you already know. And we managed to use that funds that is otherwise being like a dead weight in the market of a nation. To utilize that and to actually spread our portfolio.
Nice. Thanks a lot, Dimitar.
Hi. Well, probably our story is a little bit different, and our product is a little bit more specialized. Actually, we are creating a new collateral for credit default swap deals. So it's a very kind of niche, very financial thing. And what is kind of interesting from a blockchain perspective is that due to a large number of regulatory and legal issues, the only asset class that is going to perform in a CDS deal is actually a blockchain asset class. So from that perspective, it was really kind of a challenge to create the asset in such a way so we would hardwire the smart contract to really faithfully follow the CDS contract on one hand, and on the other hand, to provide additional tools for the regulators to really better manage risks for CDS deals. Because probably you remember, CDS was kind of in the center of the 2008 financial crisis. And what we are really kind of trying to do over here is to rebrand it and really take the best parts, because it is a very, very useful instrument to hedge and manage risk on a much larger scale, and take away the bad parts, namely the ability to make wild speculations on it, and to make more or less the life of others much more difficult while you take the bonus. So from that perspective, blockchain is a really innovative way to go around the greed problem, because everyone is greedy, obviously. However, the visibility that blockchain gives, the credibility it establishes between the parties, and the certainty of repayment is something that is really a kind of one of the things that I personally believe is going to change the landscape of finance in the coming years, just because blockchain is really superior to the current technology.
Thanks, Dimitar. So it's very interesting because, the purpose of the Block.IS project is actually to foster and to spread the knowledge around blockchain within a European context. And it's very interesting because here we already seen 3 different solutions and 3 different applications of the same technology, so different shades of the same technology. I have, every time I talk about a blockchain, there is always, and maybe I want to also know your opinion about that, there is always a kind of fear around the word. So it's definitely a buzzword, but many times I have the feeling that from a consumer perspective or an investor perspective as well, many times is so much associated with something unknown or still a dark hole in the market, that many people have the fear of the blockchain world because they don't know it probably. So especially I want to know the opinion of Guru around that, because you actually deal with crypto and you said that yours is an educational platform as well. So how much important is from your side, your everyday job, basically, the knowledge that you have to give to the consumer in order to have, much more aware consumer that can make some good choices in terms of investments?
That's a very good question, actually, because initially when we were looking for some investor, we were going to all ventures, capitals, and all these wise guys and all the lazy guys, all the people in the world. We went to everybody for investments, but 99% of them didn't understand what is blockchain, first of all. And second thing, when we said we are dealing with cryptos, the first thing that was coming to their mind was like,
it's a scam.
Are people legal? They are legit? They are some kind of scam, or what is this going on here? And some people even were outright that these things are for criminals. So we faced all these kind of things. And it was very difficult for us to just tell them, like, look, there is a technology behind it, and it's not what you are thinking. And it was very, very difficult. And what happened is we actually started to socialize and go to the circles like who understands us better. Because before educating somebody, we have to make ourselves very strong. Otherwise, people don't listen to you. And this is the same type of journey that we had. We built a community around us, and then we made a token sale of BCube. And today, BCube token is listed on Uniswap. And then once we had all these community people, on Saturday, 3:30 Central European time, every week, we have an educational session for our community, We tell them like what is DeFi, we tell them what is trading, we tell them what is crypto, and all very, very basic things, how to buy your first Bitcoin on Coinbase or on Binance or whatever it might be. So we teach them from the basics, and we tell them like why you need to have it and what is this all about and what is blockchain technology. So this is how like we began to educate people a little bit, but still the overall sentiments around the Europe is still not so positive, because being a French company ourselves, our bank is kicking us out actually, because we are in the crypto thing, and they have given us like some time to close the bank account and go somewhere else. Otherwise, they will be kicking us out. So although from outside, France looks like La French Tech and all these initiatives and everything, the realities are completely different. Still, people are not that open like how it might seem from outside. And it's very difficult for us to make them explain the things, because although you end up explaining them and they will be like, okay, I got everything, I totally understand what you say, but still we have some hesitation over that one. And for this reason, actually, in the Block.IS program, we built this DEX trading bot, because DEX trading bot is the first of its kind, which nobody has ever made. And we were the first people to make it. And thanks to Block.IS, it came to existence. What a DEX trading bot is very simple. There is no subscription fee. There is no annual fees. There is no management fees. There is absolutely nothing. We use smart contracts to buy and sell on decentralized exchange. You will connect your wallet to our smart contract, where we don't have the calling option. Only the client has the calling option. So we can't touch your funds, which is audited completely. And it's publicly available, the audited results. And then once you transfer your funds to the smart contract, then whenever there is a signal from our AI models, it automatically buys something on like a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, for example, and sells it automatically. And when the capital amount comes back, whatever the difference was there, the profit amount, that will be splitted between 20% to BQ and 80% to the client. So automatically everything happens through the smart contracts, which gives like very good transparency for people, and the trust will come because there is no cheating. There is nothing which can happen here. So this is how like we are trying to give trust to people and show them like it's possible with this amazing technology, without which it was not possible at all. So this is how like we are trying to educate people like from the basics through the product and through our narrative. And in the future, like we would like to give them direct education, which I spoke about, like teaching them some kind of languages like Solidity, etc.
Yeah. Thanks, Guru. And you said something that I found very interesting about the community, that you are building a community, because in this way you can build up trust, which is probably what is missing still within this environment. And
Absolutely.
Definitely the attitude of the old player is not the easiest one. And you, Ognjen, also were mentioning that like the behavior of the banks, of the old players towards your solution was not really, they were not making your life so easy. And I can also imagine that being your solution, a factoring solution, an SME credit solution, also in this period with the liquidity that probably a lot of company needed in the COVID period, not receiving that from the banks, I think that you got some hands into the field as well, or not?
Yeah. I mean, the banks are really. One of my former clients used to say that for these big corporations, they are like big ships. So while you move the rudder, it takes ages just for the boat to move.
Or dinosaurs.
Or dinosaurs,
you can also say.
Yeah. So I think in the end, they will be forced to accept crypto. It's just a matter of time. Regarding what Guru said about educating the consumers or the clients, this is really, really, really important, and you need to talk as much as you can. We are in our white paper, for example, the first 20 pages are really only about education. What is the technology underlying it? Why is it important? What can it bring benefits? But you also need to take into account that it's a trade-off. There are people who don't want to know anything about the underlying technology. They just want to use the product because they think it's a good investment, for example. And here, I think the blockchain space is now, it was lacking the abstraction layer that you would, for example, just have an app where you can trade without even knowing what's below. But it's now it's getting better and better. So we are trying to build the product in a way that if you don't want to know what is underlying, if you don't need the trustless functionality of blockchain, you just trust our brand, then you can also use it like that. But if you want to have access to the wallet, if you want to trade your tokens, if you are more, let's say, techie, then you can also do that. I think we need to have that balance until there is enough abstraction layers in the market, meaning applications and interfaces that can help the clients really navigate the space.
Thanks. Dimitar, your opinion on this? Of course, you are also working in a kind of complicated field with all the credit default swaps and so on. So I'm very curious to know your opinion.
Well, I wanted to make a small contrast with what Guru said, because our experience as a startup was actually quite a bit better with some of the regulators, in particular the Central Bank of Lithuania. We managed to get their attention, and they invited us in their groundbreaking technical and regulatory sandbox. It's called LB Chain. And I really would urge all the listeners of the podcast to check it out. They're really wonderful people there. They're also rather strict. So they will read everything you send them. They are going to ask you all the questions you hope they're not going to ask you. But it is really kind of a wonderful experience. Because at the end of the whole process, you have a very clear understanding where you are going. You have very clear understanding of what your limits are. You have a very good understanding that the regulators on the other side really know what they're doing, really know why they're doing it, and really are there to help integrate blockchain into a new financial world. And from that perspective, I think that, yes, there are the dinosaurs, obviously, but there are also many people that are really eager to embrace change and are able to see the potential of blockchain and the potential of certain solutions within blockchain. And it is not as easy to get to those people, but they're there. And everyone who listens to us, please be hopeful. And don't just give up on the first 2, 3, 5, 10 hurdles. There are going to be many more, but I'm very convinced that at the end of the whole thing, it's going to be better finance. It's going to be better for consumers. It's going to be better for investors. And we are going to really have a world that is much better than the current one. So from that perspective, be positive.
No, yeah, you touch on a also a sensitive point, which is regulation, and I'm very happy that you got such a great experience with the Bank of Lithuania. But as you all probably know, Europe is not so homogeneous. So when I was in Lithuania, indeed, I was very well impressed by the amazing work they are doing. But again, Europe it's not Lithuania. Lithuania, it's also kind of a great example and a very best case in class. But unfortunately, I think that a lot of work needs to be done. And that's why also programs like Block.IS are pushing so much to spread awareness around this topic. And
if
about
I may interject a little bit more, the European Union itself has a really nice strategy for engaging and exploring the potential of blockchain, and obviously finance is one of the more obvious ones. And I think that like everything in Europe, it takes time. Much longer than we really hope.
We have legacy, that's why. We have a lot of legacy, so we need to cope with that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. And of course, about that, I was mentioning, and you were mentioning as well, the Block.IS project. Before closing this episode, I would really like to ask you about your experience with Block.IS, what you brought from this journey. Guru.
Block.IS was very amazing, actually, because how I came to know Block.IS itself was a very big miracle. First of all, I was in Budapest. I was pitching our project at Blockchain Association of Hungary. So there were two judges. It was Daniel and Smilja from Serbia. They were sitting there as judge, and I finished my pitch. And everybody were asking questions, some skeptic questions, some good questions, some bad questions, all types of questions. And actually, Daniel and Smilja were quite impressed, like what we were doing and where we are going. And finally, we won the pitch on that day, the best pitch and the best startup, all the awards. And then after that, we were discussing about it. Like, well, okay, you guys are doing blockchain, but we are just one product is on blockchain, but other things are also there for decentralized exchange. So it's not that. So is it possible like we can get in Block.IS also? So this was the question when they were speaking to it. They said like, look, even if there is like 30, 40% of blockchain in that one, still you are a blockchain project. So you can, of course, apply for it. And from there, our journey began together. And throughout the process of Block.IS, they were very supportive. I mean, like whenever we had some doubt, we were going back to them and they were very, very, very good and very kind. I can tell you something, it's not an exaggeration. I have been to like a lot of accelerated programs before, a lot of incubation programs before, but have never seen something like Block.IS because this worked like a family all the time. And there were always somebody to help. Actually, even during development of our product, the DEX trading bot, we had like a lot of hurdles because it was not so easy to make what we were making actually. So we needed some expertise. And it was like Daniel or somebody else, like they were always putting us across the right person. And some people like whom we have just seen for a few minutes on all the meetings, like just hi, hello. And we don't know them, actually. We can't reach them out to them. And we needed some very big experts from TWO and all these intros we got from them very easily. And we discussed with these kind of PhD guys, like very smart guys. They could give us the solution, writing back very, very fast because it doesn't happen normally. You know, like in all the acceleration program, okay, you are there. We give you some kind of webinars, come there, learn and get out. That's it. There is no more business after that. Yeah. But it was entirely different here. And even after the product was developed, when we were going back to them, like, look, we are building this kind of product. This is our target audience and this is our client. We are facing this problem here. Can you please help us out here? They were looking for some contacts. Who knows, like friend of friend of friend of friend of this person. Like, this is the way to go. This is a loop to go. And like, okay, I have put an intro. Now you take it over from there. So always we had like, not just about like the program itself. Program itself was amazing, first of all. And the funds, of course, like which helped a lot also in hiring process, which always,
of course,
everything boils down to money at the end, whether you want it or not. So
it's how our world works, but it's we don't have to be ashamed of that. I have to say.
No, absolutely not. I love money, by the way. So
everything comes down to crypto in the end.
Bravo.
Yeah, that's the way it is. And don't forget BQ tokens, please.
Of course, you're a good salesman. Yes.
Yeah. So it was an amazing experience, like all together till the end. Guru. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I think the good side of the Block.IS project is that actually there are a lot of competencies within the consortium, you know. So there is the technical side, the business side, the promotion side. So we are quite proud of the way we build up everything. Ognjen, did you also have such a great experience as a guru?
Yes,
difficult
definitely.
To beat it, eh?
Yeah, I mean, we also met Daniel and Mladen. Big shout out to them, by the way, in a conference here in Serbia about SME financing. And they were there just hunting for startups that could join the program. We did a short pitch of 3 or 4 minutes while drinking coffee. And that's how we started. And I just want to add that really, it's an efficient accelerator program. And there are a lot of accelerator programs that are there just for the bureaucracy reasons. being slow, but this was really efficient on point from one to other phase. Things worked, and it actually really helped us to define not just the technology, but all the things around the startup. And we managed to secure a seed investment in August of last year.
Congratulations.
And I think quite a lot of what we did during the Block.IS program helped us to be ready for that, for those negotiations, for those pitching to the investor and so on. So definitely was a success, and I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Ognjen. Dimitar, your experience with Block.IS.
Well, on top of everything the previous guests have already said, which I can wholeheartedly repeat, I want to underline the community building part of the whole experience, because you meet all sorts of people from all around Europe. That all of them are great, all of them are really smart people, and you can not only open up to other founders that are in that network, but create a network, have them in your contact book every time you need to, let's say, have a joint project application. You can pick up the phone and say, hey, do you remember me? Do you want to join? And they all say yes. And that from my perspective is really amazing. That it's not only the financial support, it's not only the business support, but it's also the wonderful people around the table that you meet.
Very happy to hear that, actually. And of course, Daniel, who was mentioned quite a lot of time in this episode, will also be very happy when he's going to listen to this. So guys, thanks a lot for joining us today. I just want to leave our audience with one last insight from your side, which is actually about your company. So where we can find out more information about your project. Guru.
Okay, more information to the project is right here. It's bcube.ai.
I told you were a good salesman.
Selling, like I'm trying my best. So this is where they can go and they can search on Bcube on Uniswap if they're interested in token or interested in the product. Buy anything you want. We have all the products for all the age category, and even your grandmothers and grandfathers can use our platform. It is so easy. All you need to have is just a phone and a number. That's it.
I'm texting my grandma then. Thanks, Guru. Ognjen, where can we find more info about Finspot?
Yeah, so just visit finspot.rs or follow us on LinkedIn. Or if you are interested more to hear about the tokenization security token offering that we are preparing, you can just write to info@finspot.rs. And watch out for the autumn. We will be doing a security token offering in Serbia, first of its kind, and happy to welcome all the guests.
Thanks a lot. Dimitar, about Derivium.
Well, you can visit our website, derivium.com. And it's more or less all there, or at least all that we have managed to put up there. But more is coming pretty much on monthly basis. So if you happen to be interested,
keep following us.
keep following. Yes.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys. It was a pleasure to have you here. You gave us a lot of information about the blockchain ecosystem and your experience within Block.IS. So I'm very happy to host this episode. And thanks a lot to our audience for joining us. Remember to follow us as well on our social media. And let's keep in touch. Ciao.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Breaking Banks Europe, a Provoke Media podcast in cooperation with FinTech Stage. Don't forget to tweet us out, shout out, or post to the team at Breaking Banks EU on Twitter. If there's something or someone you'd like to hear on our cast, let us know. See you next week on Breaking Banks Europe.